First, let's check in with Andre. Here we go.
So there's been a major change in the world of investing that just made hundreds of millions of Americans Bitcoin investors, whether they wanted to be or not. That means anyone with a 401k, mom and dad, grandpa, grandma, now all have a shared interest in Bitcoin's success. And all of that happened because a company called MicroStrategy, ticker symbol MSTR, just got added to what's called the NASDAQ 100 index, ticker symbol QQQ. Now, that's a lot of acronyms I just threw at you, but here's what it all means. Remember, an index is like a basket of stocks grouped together to track the performance of a specific market. And there's a lot of very popular indexes you've probably heard of before. There's the S&P 500 index. That's the index that tracks the top 500 companies in the US. There's the Dow Jones, which is made up of 30 blue chip stable companies and many, many more. Now, by itself though, an index is not an investment. You don't technically buy an index directly because an index is just a measuring tool. Think of it as a scoreboard that tracks how certain groups of stocks are performing. Now, even though you can't directly buy an index, you can buy something that tracks the price performance of an index, which is where exchange-traded funds or ETFs come in. And when you buy shares of an ETF, you're essentially buying tiny pieces of every stock that's inside of that index. And an easy way to remember what an ETF is it's a way to invest your money into a specific theme. Imagine I was like, I want my $100 bill to be invested across the top 10 best pizza companies in the world, eh? Now, I don't think that's actually a real ETF because I made it up, but if it was real, this $100 bill would be split among those 10 different pizza companies. And one of the most popular real themes has been tech stocks because they've made a lot of money for investors. So wouldn't it be cool if my $100 bill could be invested into the top 100 tech stocks? Well, it just so happens there is a way. That's a real ETF with a ticker symbol QQQ. That ETF has $327.5 billion in assets under management. Personally, I still have all of my MicroStrategy stock. I don't think I'll be buying more right now, but if it goes down significantly, I'll consider adding more. As long as the government prints money, the price of Bitcoin and MicroStrategy theoretically have no ceiling. Now, as more and more people come to this realization, because you shared the video with them so they can understand what's happening too, I wouldn't be surprised if one day we're gonna wake up and Bitcoin's price would go from $100,000 a coin to several hundred thousand in a matter of a really short amount of time. Sometimes it happens really slowly, and then it happens all at once. It's kind of interesting that Bitcoin has made it this far, and all those predictions 15 years ago are actually coming true. Maybe those Bitcoiners knew something all along. But I'd love to know how you feel about now becoming an indirect Bitcoin investor.
What's up, Graham? It's Guys here, and we got a bit of a problem. As of a few hours ago, the Federal Reserve decided to cut interest rates by another 25 basis points, except this time, there is a bit of a catch. Despite the stock market, housing prices, and Bitcoin recently reaching brand new record highs, experts are beginning to warn that we've officially entered bubble territory to the point where now there's no turning back. After all, we have seen similar valuations in 1929, 2001, 2020 before the COVID crash, and again today as people throw their hard-earned money into the most ridiculous places like Fartcoin, which is somehow up 50% in a week. It makes no sense. Anyway, with the recent rate cuts and market euphoria, it's more important than ever that we break down exactly what's going on, what the Federal Reserve just said, their warning for 2025, and what this means for you watching, because this will have a direct impact on almost everything from the stock market, housing prices, Bitcoin, and even the price of Fartcoin. It would mean the world to me if you hit the like button or subscribed if you haven't done that already. It helps out the entire channel, and that's all I ask. So before we go into the biggest changes about to take place in 2025, when it comes to rate cuts, the single biggest factor is what's going on with inflation. That's because on December 11th, it was revealed that overall inflation increased by 2.7% year over year. And even though this is higher than their 2% target, it is an improvement from last year's 3.3%. And according to them, inflation isn't accelerating, it's merely just persistent. Anyway, in terms of where it's most persistent, Food at home increased by 1.3%. Food away from home, like restaurants, is up 3.6%. Motor vehicle insurance is up almost 13%. Health insurance is up 6%. And hey, at least some good news, energy is down 3.2%. On top of that, it's estimated that shelter, which has about a 1/3 weighting in the CPI calculation, accounted for more than 40% of the total increase in November. So hey, for the time being, it looks like we're getting more of the same. Now, as far as my own thoughts about everything discussed, in terms of the stock market, even though it is expensive, relatively speaking, based on history, at the end of the day, no one has any clue what's going to happen. And no one has any idea what the price is going to be a year from now. That's why I like to take the approach of prepare for the worst, but hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That one. This means I diversify my money throughout a variety of index funds. I do not buy individual stocks. I keep a little cash on the sidelines just in case, and I keep buying in on a regular basis regardless of the price because you know the saying, the market could remain irrational longer than you could remain solvent. Look, I know I always give the same boring advice at the end of every single video, but the truth is the boring strategy works, and I've been saying the same thing in 2017, 18, 19, all the way through today. If you would have followed this over the last 8 years, you'd be up over 200%. Now sure, that's certainly not as much as Bitcoin's 9,000% return in that time frame, but that's why I believe a well-diversified portfolio is worth it. I like placing a small amount of Bitcoin in something like an ETF, where if it goes up, great, and if it doesn't, that would really suck, but it's not the end of the world. So even though, yes, markets are high, I'm not deterred by the price, and I'm just buying in on a consistent basis, no matter what. Like, I remember making similar videos addressing the market all-time high 6 years ago, and we'll continually hit new all-time highs as the market and economy grows, hopefully. I'm just a firm believer of taking a very slow and steady approach that's very consistent, and no matter what, hitting the like button and subscribing if you have not done that already. So thank you guys so much for watching, it really means a lot.
Okay, everybody ready? I think we're gonna take a lot of notes on this one.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiteboard Finance. In today's video, I want to show you how I'll be investing for 2025. So I'm going to give you a big breakdown here. I usually don't have stuff on this side of the whiteboard, but it's going to be there the whole video, and I'll give you more information on this side as we go. But basically, it's the end of the year, holidays are starting, so I want to give you guys a perspective of how I'm looking at things and how I'll be investing my money in 2025 and moving forward. Stay tuned. Okay, so let me start this video by breaking down the things that I'll be investing in by asset class, and then we'll break down each asset class as we go. So if this is a pie, I've given this analogy 8 million times throughout the 7-8 years that I've been on YouTube. Basically, you want your pie to be representative of your net worth. Think of it like a pizza, think of it like an actual pie. Each slice is an asset class, and each asset class, you give a percentage or a weight in your portfolio. So say for easy numbers, your net worth is $100,000, you want a certain percentage allocated to each asset. That way you know if you're overweight or underweight. So for me, I think that the irony is that Bitcoin is gonna move from the risky side of the barbell and the volatile side of the barbell to actually one of the safer things in the future. That may or may not happen. You may think I'm crazy, but I don't think I am. So the barbell for me is kind of how I live my life. So my wife has a W-2 job. She does well for herself, but she also has time to raise our kids, and she also provides the health insurance and does all that stuff. So she's the stability. I'm an entrepreneur, I run a couple businesses. My income is like this, it's all over the place. However, we're hitting singles, doubles, triples, in the park home runs, grand slams, and then hers is singles and doubles like this, right? So we have a foundation and a base. So that's why I barbell invest, that's why I have a sleep well at night portfolio, and that's why I diversify. And if my lifestyle or outlook on life is similar to yours, maybe you should give this allocation a try. But again, this is not financial advice. I'm just a random guy on YouTube, don't listen to me. I haven't been studying money and geopolitics for 19 years. I have no idea what Bitcoin is. I'm just talking out of my rear end. Thank you so much for watching, and have a prosperous day.